This is a production of Red Earth Theater Company's online play project. For more information, visit redearththeater.org.
Live. So, welcome everybody to Red Earth Theater's production of Days of August. Live from Tlaquepaque with a wonderful little live audience. I thank you both at home and online. Thank you both so much for being here. We decided to talk about August days in lieu of having a more focused thing, partly because we're in August, and we thought, well, how can we pull something together fairly quickly? We're back at Tlaquepaque. Red Earth Theater's been at Tlaquepaque every Thursday, every third Thursday for about the last 2 years. We had to stop for a couple of months, and we came back in August. So we decided that we're just going to play with the days of August. So the dog days of summer, they're called. It's generally varying date between July and August, and they're sultry and sweltering, and it's the peak of the heat before the ending of summer. We're simmering in a pot, and indeed many of us feel like we're simmering in a pot right now with everything that's been happening for the last several months. And Red Earth Theater is thrilled to be back here in this beautiful space, bringing live performance to the community again. We thank you for being here with us. Oh, my microphone just went. See, now I'm back. Must be something clever that Steve is doing over there. I decided to look at what are the days. You know how there's sort of, National Tooth Cleaning Day just went again. I don't know. Now it's back. Am I going to switch mics? See, I love this. I'm going to try this one. Oh, look at that. Isn't that magic? Oh. And he's going to fiddle with the other mic for me. So when I looked at the sort of days that there are, there are 66 particular days, like, National Toothpaste Day and what have you. 66 of them in August. And we're going to share that list with you in the next 45 minutes. But we're not going to do something about all of them. We've picked 5 of them to highlight. So August is, and I've got a whistle now. August is also, certain things happen this month. So it's Admit Your Happiness
Day, first Sunday in August. International Forgiveness Day, first Sunday in August. National Ice Cream Sandwich Day, and my personal favorite, National Sister Day.
August 3rd, Grab Some Nuts Day, and National Watermelon Day.
August 4th, National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day, and U.S. Coast Guard Day. Go Coasties!
August 5th, National Underwear Day, National Oyster Day, and Work Like a Dog Day.
It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. It's been a hard day's night, I should be sleeping like a log. But when I get home to you, I'll find the things that you do will make me feel alright. You know I work all day to get your money to buy you things. And it's worth it just to hear you say you're gonna give me everything. So I on your shirt I moan, 'cause when I get you alone, you know I feel okay. It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. It's been a hard day's night, I should be sleeping like a log. But when I get home to you, I find the things that you do will make me feel alright. Will make me feel alright.
Thank you, Sandi Schenholm. That's pretty amazing. We have chosen 5 days, the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st of the month, to pull certain things from. And I'm going to begin with one from August the 20th.
It's not true that I had nothing on. I had the radio on. Marilyn Monroe in Time magazine, 1952.
National Radio Day. In many ways, albeit with the visual of Zoom, we have been mounting radio-style programs for the last 3 or 4 months, once we had to go to the online process. So picture it, audiences huddled around phones, iPhones, iPods, iPads, and laptops. That's the audience we've been playing to. And we consider how best to share stories in that medium. So keep it very simple, not too many performers, not a lot of overlapping, very much like radio shows have to be. Even when we have you, a small live audience, we are still trying to consider how to do shows that are a few people in a space, a tiny space, trying to reach a lot of people who are all spread out. So there's really a lot of similarities between what they do on the radio and what we're all trying to do now with live theater. And now Terra's going to give us some National Radio Day stuff.
National Radio Days. Guglielmo Marconi sent the first ever radio transmission in 1896, so he's considered the father of radio. AM stands for amplitude modulation, and FM stands for frequency modulation. KDKA in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, was the first commercial radio station. Radio stations east of Mississippi River use W as their first letter in their call signs, and those west of the Mississippi River use K as the first letter in their call signs. We're east, so that's why we call our letters W-I-H-B. FM radio made its first appearance in 1939.
I'm going to read you a radio love poem. It's sort of more of a prose poem. This is by Alison Townsend. The radio makes me nervous, but there was a time when I loved it. 13 and falling asleep to the hum of my black-cased transistor, its leather handle looped securely around one wrist. Pulse speed against pulse speed, I rocked to the radio's currents, matching my blood and my mood to the waves of the music, the DJ's announcements, and even the commercials for sunny days at Raceway Park. Murray Kay with his swinging soiree, Wise Roscoe, and Alison Steele, the night bird, with my own name, who came on at 11. Her voice of honey filtered over gravel as deliberately sexy as the new fires catching hold in my body. I knew them all on an intimate basis. I invited them into my room with a flick of one finger, or I carried them with me. Voices that seduced from 60 miles away, downriver in New York City, brimming with secret knowledge about the meaning of my world. Summer afternoons on the radio was girlfriend and boyfriend, dangling from its strap from the handlebar of my old Schwinn as I pedaled 5 miles out to a clear gray lake, music drifting behind me like rain clouds on the verge of explosion. Bearing my pale skin to the flat white sun, I lay down, held alone on a striped bath towel that I imagined to be so Californian, suddenly overexposed in my homemade paisley bikini and waiting, just waiting, for the boys who swam and dove like shoals of bright fish, oblivious to my shy sickness.
And as you lay there on the beach, you're snapping your fingers, everyone. Give me a beat, please. More like this.
August 6th is National Fresh Breath Day, and more importantly, Wiggle Your Toes Day. August 7th, International Beer Day, first Friday in August, and National Lighthouse Day.
August 8th, International Cat Day. International Clown Day, Saturday, International Clown Week. Sneak some zucchini into your neighbor's porch day. Oh, that's too nasty. Middle Child's Day, that's the second day in August. August 9th, Book Lovers Day. August 10th, Lazy Day. National S'mores Day.
August 11th is Presidential Joke Day and Son and Daughter Day. August 12th, World Elephant Day. August 13th, Left-Handers Day.
August 14th, National Creamsicle Day. National Kool-Aid Day, second Friday in August.
August 15th, National Honeybee Awareness Day on the third Saturday of the month. And Relaxation Day.
August 16th, National Tell a Joke Day. And on that note, we now have Michael here to share an Irish joke with us.
Hello. Hello. This is Mr. O'Reilly. He's going to help me tell my Irish joke. Would you say hello to Mr. O'Reilly, please?
Hello, Mr. O'Reilly.
Hey, just was a little bit quiet. Again, no, please. Oh, I got to go over here. Hold on. All right then. How's that? Can you hear me now? All right. Now then, hello, Mr. O'Reilly, one more time.
Hello, Mr. O'Reilly.
Ah, grand. All right, so let's get on with the joke. We have an American named Dave. Now, this American named Dave was an excellent golfer, scratch golfer, as they say. Played very, very well, played all over the country, did a terrific job, but he'd never played overseas. And several of the pros that he'd played with, they advised him to go overseas and try some of the courses in Europe, especially in Ireland. People were telling him how beautiful the courses were in Ireland. So, he booked himself an Irish vacation golf tour. And the tour began in Ireland, in the city of Galway, which is on the west coast of Ireland, if you've ever been there. And a beautiful spot. So, he got to Galway City, and he booked his hotel, brought his clubs in, got himself settled, and then he went out to the local pub and began to talk with the locals. And what he told them was that he had come from America, and that he wanted to play the best that they had to offer in Galway City. He wondered who was the best golfer in Galway City. So the people he was talking to said, well, that would be Mr. O'Reilly, of course. And he said, great, I'd like to play with him. Where is he? And they said, well, he's right down there at the end of the bar. So he goes down the end of the bar, and he meets Mr. O'Reilly, talks with him for a while, and they agree to have a game the next day, 10 pounds against each other. And so Mr. O'Reilly says, all right then, I will meet you at the Galway Country Club, first tee, 9 o'clock sharp in the morning, although I could be a half an hour late. So he says, okay, fine, goes back to his hotel, and has a good night's sleep. The next morning he gets up, takes his clubs, goes to the Galway Country Club, just a little before 9 o'clock, and at 9 o'clock sharp, Mr. O'Reilly shows up with a bag of left-handed clubs, which Dave thought was a little bit unusual. However, he said he's played with southpaws before, so he and Mr. O'Reilly tee it up. Oh, come on now. There we go. And Mr. O'Reilly sets up with the left-handed clubs. First shot. Grand shot. So they play the 18 holes, and Dave does well, but Mr. O'Reilly is better, and he beats him by beats him by 3 strokes. So they go back to the pub afterwards, and they're having a pint. He pays him his 10 pounds, and he says to Mr. O'Reilly, you know, you really did a good job, and I'm not taking anything away from you, beating you fair and square, but it was my first time on the course, and you know, I wonder if maybe you might want to play me again tomorrow. That would be okay. Mr. O'Reilly said, absolutely sure. I'd be glad to play you again. I tell you what, I'll meet you there, 9 o'clock sharp, although I could be a half an hour late. And Dave says, fine, goes back to his hotel, gets a good night's sleep. The next morning, he goes to the Galway Country Club again, first tee, 9 o'clock sharp. There's Mr. O'Reilly, only this time, he's carrying a set of right-handed clubs, which Dave thought was really unusual. But anyway, they tee it up, Mr. O'Reilly with his right-handed clubs. Grand shot. And so they play again, another 18 holes, really well played by both of them. But once again, Mr. O'Reilly plays better and beats him by 2 strokes. So, back to the pub they go, he pays him his next £10, and he says to him, just remarkable, not taking anything away from you. You did a terrific job, but something struck me. When the person we played yesterday, you brought a bag of left-handed clubs, and then today you brought a pair of right-handed clubs. And I'm just wondering, what is the method you use to decide which clubs you bring? So Mr. O'Reilly said, well, I tell you what it is. I get up in the morning, first thing, and I look at my wife. Now, if she's lying on the right side, I take my right-handed clubs with me. And if she's laying on the left side, I bring me left-handed clubs. And Dave says, well, what if she's laying on her back? Oh, then I'll be a half an hour late. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. August 17th, National Thrift Shop Day. August 18th, Bad Poetry Day. World Daffodil Day.
August 19th is Aviation Day, World Photography Day, and, in my opinion, the most important day of the month, National Potato Day.
The potato and the USA. We did have potatoes in Australia, we did eat them, but not to the degree and the extent and the variety that seems to happen in America. So I found this great little thing when I was researching this, and I just have to share it with you. Potato chips, hash browns, baked potatoes, home fries, mashed potatoes, and tater skins are just some of the incredibly delicious things you can make with potatoes. And half of those I probably hadn't met in Australia, and I came to America and they're everywhere. The potato is an unusual little tuber that has played an important role in the history of the world and was in fact the primary food crop for an entire nation. Potato Day celebrates this wonderful tuber and all the things you can use it for. So, what is your favorite potato treat? Everyone think about that. I'm sure you have one, and if not, you need to get one. Potatoes were first cultivated by man in southern Peru and northeast regions of Bolivia, sometime between 5,000 and 8,000 BC. And from that time forward, it has spread all over the globe to become a primary staple crop in many cultures. Potatoes are a favorite part of American cuisine, with millions of different forms of preparation to be found. They're even used to make bread, rolls, and pancakes, and as such, they can be found in every meal of the day. And here's Michael with a beautiful poem about a potato that was found in a very special place.
The Potato by Joseph Stroud. 3 days into the journey, I lost the Inca Trail and scrambled around the Andes in a growing panic. When on a hillside below the snow line, I met a farmer who pointed the way. Machu Picchu, allá. He knew where I wanted to go. From my pack, I pulled an orange. It seemed to catch fire in the blue Andean sky. And I gave it to him. He'd been digging in a garden, turning up clumps of earth, some odd, misshapen nuggets, some potatoes. And he handed me one. A potato about the size of the orange, looking as if it had been in the ground for 100 years. A potato I carried with me until at last I stood gazing down on the Urubamba Valley, peaks rising out of the jungle into clouds, And there, among the mists, I saw the Temple of the Sun and the lost city of the Incas. Looking back now, all these years later, what I remember most, what mattered most to me, was that farmer, alone on his hillside, who gave me a potato with its peasant face, its lumps and lunar craters, a potato that fit perfectly in my hand, a potato that consoled me as I walked, told me not to fear, held me close to the earth. The potato I put in a pot that night. The potato I boiled above Machu Picchu. The patient, gnarled potato that I ate.
And for all you creatives out there, here's another idea: potato sculpture. If you've ever noticed that potatoes seem to be a blank canvas, you're not alone. Thousands of people worldwide love the fact that these tubers are so easily shaped into complex forms. To make a compelling potato sculpture, you'll need a sharp set of tools, including knives and scoops. You'll then take a sizable raw potato and whittle it down into a form of your choosing. Who knows? You can make anything, even another potato.
Garden Style by Yoshi Wrangler. There was a potato named Willard McSpud who lived underground, beneath the dirt and the mud. Till one day by accident, wouldn't you know, the farmer unearthed him with his garden hoe. Well, the first thing he saw through the sun's morning glare was a bright red tomato whose name was Sue Claire. Hanging low on a vine just inches above, and there in the dew mist, they fell deep in love. Their romance went on for a week and a half. She taught him to love, and he taught her to laugh. But his heart would be broken that dark, dismal day the harvesters came, and they took her away. Now Willard grew bitter. Depression set in, till he was picked up by Pam and tossed into a bin. And they sprayed him with water to wash off the dirt, but could not penetrate to his soul where he hurt. He was peeled and sliced before being deep fried and dropped into a box with an M on the side, with a double cheeseburger and medium Coke. He despaired that his life had been just a cruel joke. He was lifted and dipped in a cup of red sauce and brought up between teeth, bad in need of a floss. But the ketchup which clung like a lover's embrace was his own sweet Sue Claire, pulped down to a paste. Together they dropped to a bubbling pit. The acids rushed in, and that's basically it. So take heart if you're torn from the side of a friend. You may yet be united, somehow, in the end. And one more potato story that is just too good to pass up.
This is a poem by Montana cowboy poet Paul Zarzyski. Potatoes. Unless they've been clandestinely launched whole into orbit as a satellite welcome wagon gunny sack toward alien goodwill, unless I've been mispronouncing Sputnik all these years, the quartet of big reds freshly forked from Dad's garden, stowaways in my carry-on luggage above our heads, might be the highest flying spuds since Kitty Hawk. I do not believe in happenstance. So when the strapping young man in the window seat insists on close encounters of the third kind, note the allusion here to the mashed potato scene. After I've already warned him, I'm a poet running on no sleep. A threat that deters him not one tater-tot iota. Touché, I think, as I buckle myself in for the unbeknownst to me, starchy ride, and fire politely right back at the guy. So what is it you do? As deadpan, he proclaims with a bit of sinister, unwhispered boast to his tone, I am a potato breeder. Ah, so you breed potatoes. So this is how I learned every in and out of the chipping business. And yes, the skins, like livers, do absorb pesticide and fertilizer residue, but not enough to compel you to forfeit the roughage benefit unless the subcutaneous epidermic layer has turned green and therefore toxic. Incidentally, the scientific name, should you find yourselves in future discussion with horticultural savants, is Solanum tuberosum. I drank 6 vodkas on the rocks over Bismarck. You got your Yukon Golds, your fingerlings and yellowfins, your chieftains, your Chippewas, Kennebecks, Burbank russets, early gems, and your Colorado longs and Pontiac reds. You name it. This young fella had come I-bud to PhD I-bud with every creed, color, race, model, make, nationality, and post-mortem transmogrification. Me? I'm French and curly fried by the time we touch down at midnight in Montana, and I say bye-bye, my sweet potato pie, to the stewardess who refuses to return my perfectly rhymed toodaloo adieu. I'm scalloped, twice-baked, Plotsky, Jojo'd, au gratin, shoestring, mashed, colcanated, Vichy swathed, hash brown, and having green potato skin hallucinogen flashbacks, and worse, forecasts. As suddenly, every Samsonite suitcase, every garment bag, every nylon backpack and canvas double transmutates right before my protuberance eyes into bulbous burlap sacks on the baggage carousel where I stand, drooling, mesmerized by the blue-lettered logo stenciled to the front of every gummy. Czar Ziski's purple mazurkas. We put the poets in potatoes.
All right, I'm going to sing a song about potatoes. I had no idea that potatoes could inspire so many poets and songwriters. And when Kate texted me and asked me if I knew any songs about potatoes, I said, does anybody? And apparently she sent me one called Don't Slay the Potato by Tom Paxton. So I'd like to dedicate this to my Uncle Bob because he likes these kinds of songs. They're just really fun. How can you do it? It's heartless, it's cruel, it's murder, cold-blooded and gross. To slay a poor vegetable just for your stew, or to serve with some cheese sauce on toast. Have you no decency? Have you no shame? Have you no conscience, you cad? To rip that poor vegetable out of the earth, away from its poor mom and dad. Here's the chorus. Oh no, don't slay that potato. Let us be merciful, please. Don't boil it or fry it. Don't even freeze dry it. Don't slice it or flake it. For God's sake, don't bake it. Don't shed the poor blood of this poor helpless spud. That's the worst kind of thing you could do. Oh no, don't slay that potato. I've never done nothing to you. Okay, I'm gonna try and do the second verse. Why not try picking on someone your size instead of a carrot or bean? The peas are all trembling there in your pods because of your being so vicious and mean. How would you like it to be grabbed by your hair and ruthlessly yanked from your bed and have done to you God knows what horrible slice it or flake it, for God's sake don't bake it. Don't shed the poor blood of this poor helpless spud. It's the worst kind of thing you could do. Oh no, don't slay the potato, I've never done nothing to you. Oh no, don't slay that potato, I've never done nothing to you. Thanks for making me great. We're so lucky we have Jill Trenholm in our midst. This amazing woman, actually we share a fence, and she's been doing street concerts in her street pretty much through this whole pandemic. And she's someone who can play and sing anything, so she's kind of like, okay, I've got a song for you, Jill, and she's like, all right. So she also writes fabulous music and great hit songs. So moving away from potatoes, the 20th is a particularly busy day with not just National Radio Day, but also National Lemonade Day, and World Mosquito Day, and World Humanitarian Day. We can skip the mosquitoes, but lemonade sounds really good. Right about now, we don't have any, we do have ice water. So lemonade originated in the Mediterranean region in the 13th century, and a recipe eventually made its way to Europe and then to America. And the beverage was sold as a refreshment and as a tonic to treat colds and other ailments. And in France, you could purchase a glass of lemonade from a street vendor known as a lemonadier. We could do with one of those. And now I have a beautiful little poem that I'm going to read you called Cake and Lemonade for Neighbors. And I'm going to have to put my glasses on because I forgot to make this bigger. Oh, look at that. Cake and Lemonade for Neighbors by Margaret Rosager, who was the Wisconsin Poet Laureate for 2019 to 2020. Where I want to live, neighbors gather on front porches, watch their children play across multiple front yards, laugh in Spanish, Arabic, Burmese, English, talk about back in the day, share sweet and savory snacks, lend each other a cup of sugar or flour, borrow hedge trimmers, a shovel, a rake, help with chores when need be, apologize when need be, offer a word of advice, not more. Drum, strum guitars, pluck banjos, make a little noise sometimes bring out a kitchen chair so everyone finds a comfortable place to sit on the unscreened wide or narrow porch or on the stoop. Sometimes just enjoy all the black, brown, white, golden quiet together. The amazing Sonja Whisman. Thank you so much, Sonja. That's another amazing person who lives right here in the Verde Valley. We have so much talent here, and I'm always happy to get to play with them. So August the 21st gives us National Senior Citizens Day. And yeah, put your hand up, you're a senior citizen. And I must say, one of the strengths of Red Earth is the amazing senior citizens who come out and play with us with never a hint that they're senior citizens, because they're just as disorganized and silly as the rest of it. So it's really nice. Makes those of, well, I'm actually probably a senior citizen now too. So I'm not going to go any further with that. But I'm going to give you a quote from Helen Mirren. So Helen Mirren said, "The best thing about being over 70 is being over 70. Certainly when I was 45, the idea of being 70 was like, but you only have two options in life, die young or get old. There's nothing else. The idea of dying young when you're 25 is kind of cool, a bit romantic like James Dean, but then you realize that life is too much fun to do that. It's fascinating and wonderful and emotional. So you just have to find a way of negotiating getting old, psychologically and physically." Helen Mirren, 2017.
We're fortunate to live in a time when so many of our elderly are living lives of unexpected health and financial security. But such was not always the case. Throughout history, old age was not something an individual expected to reach, and so we lost wisdom and experiences of these individuals at an early age. Senior Citizen Day celebrates the fact that these keepers of wisdom are staying with us longer each year and in better health. You've probably been told many times before that you need to respect your elders. In fact, this is the phrase that most children hear throughout their lives. It's about honoring those people who have been on this earth longer than we have. Getting old is not easy. You've been independent all your whole life, and then you feel this being stripped away from you. It can be very difficult to deal with. And that is why we all need to make sure that we're there for our grandparents and older people in general. That's what this day celebrates, and it's special to be a part of it.
World Senior Citizen Day first occurred in 1988. It was officially founded by Ronald Reagan, former President of the United States. The promulgation of 5847 was signed on the 19th of August, 1988. He announced it by saying the following: "For all that they have achieved throughout their lives, and for all that they continue to do, we owe our gratitude and sincere greetings to our senior citizens. We can show our gratitude and appreciation better by making sure our communities are good places for age and maturity, places where older people can participate as much as possible and find the encouragement, acceptance, support, and services they need to continue living a life of independence and dignity." President Ronald Reagan.
William Shakespeare, sonnet number 73. That time of year in thou mayest behold, when yellow leaves or none or few do hang upon those boughs which shake against the cold. In me thou seest twilight of such days, bare ruined choirs will late the sweet birds sing, as after sunset fadeth in the west, which by and by black night doth take away death's second self, and seals up all in rest.
Patti Smith. I considered what it meant to be 66, the same number as the original American highway, the celebrated Mother Road that George Maharis as Buzz Murdoch took as he tooled across the country in his Corvette, working on oil rigs and trawlers, breaking hearts and freeing junkies. 66, I thought. I could feel my chronology mounting, snow approaching. I could feel the moon, but not see it. The sky was veiled with a heavy mist, illuminated by the perpetual city lights. When I was a girl, the night sky was a great map of constellations, a cornucopia, spilling the crystalline dust of the Milky Way across its ebony expanse, layers of stars that I would deftly unfold in my mind. I'm still the same person, I thought, with all my flaws intact. Same old bony knees. Thanks be to God. October 2015.
This next song is called The Same Key, and it's about going through my grandparents' house for the very last time. And it's this key that I wear around my neck tonight is the same key that went to their front door. And the house no longer exists. It was in Holland, Michigan, right on Lake Macatawa. And we knew that once my grandparents were gone, that the house would be sold. And a big, beautiful home is there in this place, but that view is still there. And our hearts and our memories from that place are still there. One thing that we found when going through their things was a O. Henry candy bar box. And inside it were all the letters that they'd written to each other during World War II. So my three sisters and I and my mom, we put them all in order and started to read through them, and it unfolded just a beautiful story of my grandparents when they were young. So this is the song called The Same Key. And Sonja's gonna play with me on that. Same key, open the same door, touch that old stair rail, walk the same floor. He used that old wheelbarrow, trimmed the same trees, went down in this basement, his tools were all of these. She sat in this chair, watched the same view. He sat there beside her, watched with her too. Some things last forever, like names in stone on a lawn, and memories become diamonds when the lives and the things are gone. Red letters at this table where she wrote him in the war, found them hidden in a candy box he'd given her years before. Their words told a story of lovers torn apart, of hope and of anguish, never losing heart. She stood at this sink, he drank from this cup, they danced in this kitchen, in this house filled with love. And some things last forever, like names in stone on a lawn, and memories become diamonds when the lives and the things are gone. same door, touch this old stair rail, walk the same floor. Thank you for doing that.
August 22nd, Be an Angel Day. August 23rd, Ride the Wind Day. August 25th, Kiss and Makeup Day. And the mouth-watering inducing National Banana Split Day.
August 26th, National Dog Day. Take your best friend for a walk. Women's Equality Day. August 27th, Just Because Day. And Global Forgiveness Day.
The power of human empathy, leading to collective action, saves lives and frees prisoners. Ordinary people whose personal well-being and security are assured gather together in huge numbers to save people they do not know and will never meet. Unlike any other creature on this earth, humans can learn and understand without having experienced. They can think themselves into other people's places. We do not need magic to change the world. We carry all the power we need within ourselves already. We have the power to imagine better. J.K. Rowling, author, philanthropist, and founder of the children's charity Lumos.
August 19th is World Humanitarian Day. On World Humanitarian Day, WHD, the world commemorates humanitarian workers killed and injured in the course of their work. And we honor all aid and health workers who continue, despite the odds, to provide life-saving support and protection to people most in need. This year, World Humanitarian Day, as the world continues to fight the COVID-19 pandemic over the recent months, aid workers are overcoming unprecedented access hurdles to assist people in humanitarian crisis in 54 countries, as well as in a further 9 countries which have been catapulted into humanitarian needs by the COVID-19 pandemic. This day was designated in memory of the August 19, 2003 bombing attack on the Canal Hotel in Baghdad, Iraq, killing 22 people, including the chief humanitarian in Iraq, Sergio Vieira del Mello. In 2009, the United Nations General Assembly formalized the day as World Humanitarian Day.
Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Martin Luther King.
Touching people's lives, the joy and challenge of being a humanitarian by Nihan Barutsu, social worker for IOM in Turkey. As a social worker in the field of humanitarian aid, I would say that it is just not a profession, but a way of life that demands dedication. Having a career in humanitarian aid was not a choice for me. I just found myself in it. When you see injustice around yourself, if you feel moved by the sight of a hungry child, women that are victims of violence, or the sight of a father who has lost a child at sea while escaping war, you somehow find yourself in this field. My aim is to work until disadvantaged groups have reached the same level as other groups. By taking small steps, I am able to see change for good in society. It's a very satisfying feeling, binding you to life and allowing you to continue working with greater energy and greater motivation. The biggest challenge is witnessing suffering and hearing stories that break your heart. But despite these challenges, I strive to be someone who makes children smile, who's able to sincerely communicate with them through games and conversations, and to be a reliable confidant who my fellow women can express themselves with. While we, as women, continue to work with as much effort and aptitude as men, often our work is considered to be a reflection of our maternal and our compassionate instincts. I refute the stereotypical outlook and believe that our work is based on ethics, human values, and ambition. Humanity has no gender and no chromosome. Humanitarian aid must be holistic, and without the support of people in our community, we cannot create a significant impact in society. It is the duty and the responsibility of all of us to alleviate the pain of other people, whether professional or as volunteers. Humanitarian workers are saving people's lives, touching people's lives, and changing them. And I want people to see us not as targets, but as people with the aim to help others. I also want them to know that it's not easy for us to progress or to achieve without all of your support.
To say that on a daily basis you can make a difference, you can. One act of kindness a day can do it. Betty Williams, Irish activist and founder of the Irish Peace Movement, Community of Peace People.
When we live in a world that is very unjust, you have to be a dissident. Nawal El-Saadawi, Egyptian feminist, writer, and psychiatrist.
Overcoming poverty is not a task of charity. It is an act of justice. Like slavery and apartheid, poverty is not natural. It is man-made and can be overcome and eradicated by the actions of human beings. Sometimes it falls on a generation to be great. You can be that great generation. Let your greatness blossom. Nelson Mandela, anti-apartheid activist and former president of South Africa.
This next song I wrote is called "Open Up Your Heart," and I have an idea that when you're in a grumpy, bad mood, it's one way to snap out of it is to go do something nice for someone else. I actually wrote this song for my daughter, who was really grumpy one day, and I got her to go with us to go rake leaves at a friend's house, and it works. It lifts your spirits. So if you ever are feeling grumpy, that's a really good way to get out of it. So this is called "Open Up Your Heart." And I did play this for my daughter after I wrote it, and she did roll her eyeballs, but she likes it. You say you're in a bad mood, but you're entitled to it. Well, it may be true from what you've been through. Not on doubt for a minute, you got your head in a dark cloud. But if you think about it, there's an easy way out. Open up your heart, just be nice. Spread a little kindness, don't hesitate. Give something of yourself, lend a hand. Open up your heart and I'm sure you'll understand. Happiness is a choice, yes, you can just flip a switch. It starts a little smile, a simple smile. You don't need to be taught this, you already know. Just open up your heart and let your goodness show, yeah, yeah, yeah. Do ya da ya da ya da 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 da. Do ya what you already know. Just open up your heart and let your goodness show. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you da you do you da 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 da? Do you da 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 da
August 28th is Race Your Mouse Day. Also Stuffed Green Bell Peppers Day. August is full of good foods. August 29th, International Bacon Day. I rest my case. And More Herbs and Less Salt Day.
August 30th, Frankenstein Day. Or for those of you who prefer, Toasted Marshmallow Day. And August 31st, National Eat Outside Day. Wondering what to eat? It's also National Trail Mix Day.
So, playing with the mic here. So, I wonder, first of all, we're about to wrap this up, but I really want to bring out all these wonderful performers so that you can meet them and acknowledge them. So, Michael Gallagher, Sandi Schenholm, Terra Shelman, Ransom, Zeke Collins, Sonja Whisman. Now, we've caught here between. So this is what we're all dealing with nowadays, right? Is how to be in the picture and. So, I want to thank all these wonderful performers. So Sonja joined us yesterday. Zeke joined us also very much the last minute. He was helping tidy the storage unit, and he's a beautiful young actor. You might have seen him in our production of Dark Side, which we did last year. And you know, so Zeke is also bereft of theater, and I said, would you like to be in a show? And he goes, yes. All right, so he's here. Joan Westmoreland was going to do the show with us, but she's not well. Don't worry, it's not the COVID, it's something completely different. But she had to go home. So, and that happened tonight. She was already here. So I want to thank all the people who jumped in and took her part. So I think Sonja picked one up, Sandi picked one up, and Terra picked one up. And I picked one up. So, and I want to thank Jill, who was, helping organize all the sound here, and then we lost a microphone. So I hope you noticed we all negotiated that well. That is the beauty of live theater, and that is the beauty of working in community, that we solve these problems. There's other people I want to thank. I want to thank Steve Janess, who is the magic man in black, who you see down here, cleaning microphones, and setting things up. Without Steve, we'd all just be standing still wondering what to do next. Larry Kane, who takes our fabulous photos, who's prepped right there behind us. And then I want to thank Ashley Threlkeld, who most of you would know as an actress on stage, who stepped in, became a tech wizard. And then Esther, who didn't know this when she said, sure, I'll come and help with front of house, she then was handed sort of a camera thing. So thank both of you. And with that, we also want to thank Dex McGon, who loaned us all this stuff. He said, I don't have time to do it. And I said, what about Ashley? And he said, okay. So I said, Ashley, you're going to go learn how to learn this stuff. And she said, okay. And then I want to thank Wendy Lichtman and everybody here at Tlaquepaque. And I want to thank Del Pianis, who we're going to be going there after the show and having some of their wonderful, wonderful food. If you don't know them, they're at Hilltop. I want to thank all our supporters, all the people who supported us, given us money, and been present at our shows. I want to thank Lydia Collins, who's done various things for us over the years, including being the mother of Zeke, which is really nice. I want to thank Miranda and Roman, Kathy Ransom's family, who sort of drafted into helping, and it's lovely to have them there. And then the beautiful Jennifer, who has volunteered for us so often, and she also put her hand up and said, what can I do to help? We have a wonderful community here. And I just want to wrap this up by saying, so the days of August, 66 of them we gave you by name. I know there are some we missed. And each one of them is a time for celebration and appreciation. From the silly, the National Sneak Some Zucchini Onto Your Neighbor's Porch Day, to the, of course, National Senior Citizens Day, to the profound World Humanitarian Day. Whatever the occasion, the time taken to acknowledge, enjoy, share, even the most mundane of activities is a moment in the present. Perhaps as human animals, we want reasons to come together, to share a common story, no matter how trite it may seem. We want to see in the little things simple pleasures and community. And we want to honor those who do so much for us, the humanitarians in our midst. We're inspired by their stories. So as you go about your days and you're working out how to manage these turbulent times, whether you have a business, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a medical person, we're all trying to work it out. As you do it, take time to mark the days with humor, with hope, and with gratitude. And maybe there are special things in your family or in your particular community, and you might choose to honor with your own particular day. I think, given what I've been going through the last few weeks, I'm going to have a National Ants in the Kitchen Day. I don't know if other people have ants in their kitchen, but oh my God. I think I might have done away with that. I think I had National Ants in the Kitchen Week, but I think they're gone now. So whatever it is, we wish you safe travels with simple comforts and with always hope and with love to light your way. And now Sonja.
Wait, above all, let's give Kate Hawkes a huge hand of applause. None of this Red Earth would not be here